Hello, and welcome to another episode of the
Lume Plotters,
world famous Lume Plotters.
number one in Antarctica.
Yes.
Watch podcast, yes.
We have to do a shout out, I think, if I find this quickly, to all our listeners in so many different places, in Denmark, in Poland, in Ireland,
Tanzania,
of course in the UAE, also in other places of Germany, so Switzerland and Austria and all of these other places, Germany, Slovakia, and so on and so on. So thank you very much.
Who are
for
these
listening.
people? We will never know. I keep asking and nobody responds on Instagram.
As long as you like it.
Yeah. Comment. Once again, I tell you, comment and tell us where you're from.
Yeah.
Anyway, so today we have a little bit of watch news. We're going to try to pump out a shorter episode for you because the last one was an hour and a half long.
Yeah,
and we had
you need to
listen
recover.
Mahmoud, and he was talking so much. Yes, exactly.
It's
so
all
we'll try to make it
Mahmoud's
shorter.
fault.
It is.
Yeah. In any
so,
case, I don't speak to both of you anymore.
Because we don't have a WhatsApp group or anything.
No, you have roasted my collection. I'm not speaking to you.
Yes, okay. I'm okay with that. You can speak to the audience.
Okay.
So we're going to do a watch news episode today, just to kind of catch up. Every once in a while, we have to do these to kind of fill in the blanks of what's been going on in the watch world and what should you be aware of.
What's new?
There's some interesting things. So we'll talk about those. But first, before we get into that, of course, we need to talk about what are you wearing?
Yeah, and it's what do you think?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yes.
No?
The Daytona.
And that's the thing. No, let me take it off. Show you.
Is it broken?
No.
Just like your GMT?
No. It's a Daytona with a date.
Ooh, I can't see. What in the hell is that? Did you buy a fake Daytona?
No, it's not fake. It's a real
it's an homage.
Pagani design. Something. I don't even know what this model is cost. I thought I was very clever because I thought, you know what? I'm going for a Germany trip and watch crime and all of this stuff. So I checked with my friends back home who wear Daytonas and all of stuff every day, and I said, like, you're an idiot. You just come with your watch. Don't worry about anything, right? I said, okay, fine.
So you bought this.
But before that, I bought this on AliExpress and I couldn't cancel it anymore. So I got this ceramic case homage. It's, of course,
ceramic bezel or case?
Ceramic bezel. It's a quartz watch, obviously, right? So it does have a proper chronograph. It does look like the older version of the Daytona, though, but it's not branded Rolex or anything like that.
It's quartz.
It is Pagani, and it's
quartz
or it is quartz. Yes, it's quartz. Has this how do you call this? This mecha quartz thing, so that the second hand ticks, and it has a date at 4:30.
Even the freaking center links are polished.
Yeah,
I mean I'm looking pretty hard. I mean, obviously through a grainy
from a
screen,
distance. I had them next to each other in my hands, and I think if from 2 meters distance, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Yeah. No, I can't.
But then, of course, I thought, this is my typical thing. I thought, that's great. So if I feel in danger, I just swap my watch to this one, right? Have both with me. And if I'm getting, robbed, then I just hand over my Pagani and happy. But then I thought, it doesn't actually make sense. If I really feel that I'm getting robbed, I should just not wear this watch at all. I just should leave it at home.
Correct.
Wear a swatch and just even not get because otherwise, if they, use a machete and hack off my wrist, then I have hacked my wrist off for Pagani, which is really sad. Not that
Pagani Zonda or
Pagani
the
Zonda
Huayra.
would be different. But anyhow, these are these kind of impulse decisions that you make and you regret a bit. But actually, I'm surprised for like, what is it, 50 euros
you need
so.
to be bringing this to
I will.
watch meetups and stuff like this, right? Because that's when it'll be funny.
It is crazy. It's not a fake, it's not a replica, it's an homage, but it's on the wrist. It wears equally comfortable, which is surprising. The clasp is shit, obviously for 50 euros, right? But everything else is actually working okay, right? It has a sapphire crystal even. I don't know how they do this for this.
I went down this rabbit hole as well. I was in Thailand and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be cool to buy this is back in the day.
Yeah, sure.
I was wearing my sub because that's what you used to do. You would wear a ceramic sub on vacation to Thailand and not even think twice about it.
No, of course. It's your watch. You wear it.
Exactly. And we were at the little, whatever, village, not village, the little... not used, but what do you call it? The market, right? This market village thing where it's a massive span of these little stalls of vendors, and they had everything from, selling mangoes to fake Rolexes and fake Louis Vuittons. So I was thinking, I'm gonna buy a fake version of my exact watch, and I thought I would find a super clone or something good. And every single one I looked at was absolutely crap. And they're like, this is AA quality. And I'm looking at it I'm like, come on, this is absolutely a joke. Christy, my wife, just showed me literally 2 seconds ago, a listing she found on Debizzle. She comes in here, bursts in and says, would you like a Rolex Submariner for 300 dirhams on Debizzle? And she shows me the picture. And sure enough, they're selling these. And it said, worn only one time. Rolex Submariner, and the date window didn't magnify anything. It was absolutely just the tiniest little date window. Yeah. The bezel was all off. It was an aluminum bezel, but it was trying to be a ceramic.
Cheap fakes. Yeah. But if you go to the super clones, they now have certain super clones that you actually really have to open the case back in order to
I haven't seen one yet. I've wanted to see one for so long. I've never seen one, and I'm not going to buy one.
I mean, they cost about $1,000 or even more, right? But
that's which is absolutely nuts.
And they do have even cloned movements now. Of course, they still don't have the free sprung balance and these kind of things. So that's one of the things they still don't do. But so that's why you can actually see it on the movement. But other than that, it's scary.
I have once again bought two watches from two Rolexes, I should say, from sketchy situations, right? In which case I could have been really screwed over or really tricked. And I'm really trusting that my little fingers know how a Rolex crown should pop out and how it should feel and little things like this. I mean, 10 years wearing a Rolex and, setting it and doing all this stuff, I feel either it would be a sense of false security that I think I know what I'm doing, or I have actually an idea of what I'm doing. I don't know.
If it's a similar movement, yes. But sometimes they're also, depending on what you have, you set the hands
similar
in one
movement,
way.
but that's not what we're talking about. When you unscrew a Rolex crown, the spring that pushes it out, that has nothing to do with the movement. That is apparently some place where they really cheap out. And so you won't get that pop. So you have to kind of, anyway.
And how wobbly it feels and all of this stuff.
And the wobble of the crown and things like this. But for all intents and purposes, the two watches were the 36 millimeter Explorer that I got for dirt cheap during COVID. Dirt cheap as in under retail price, and they just had come to the market. And then the second one was, of course, my wife's Celebration OP. Yeah. But the thing is, both of these, we were doing extensive research on the superclone market, on the marketplaces where they're selling these superclones. Yeah. And the thing was, superclones hadn't done a 36 millimeter Explorer case because they had just come out. What they tried to do was use the 36 millimeter Oyster Perpetual, which had a 20 millimeter lug span, and the Explorer had a 19. So they just took the old 36 millimeter case and tried to make it on that. So it took them about a year and a half to replicate. And the same thing went for the Celebration dials. My wife has a 31 mm, and they only faked the 36 and the 41 at the very beginning. So because both watches were within a year of them being launched at Basel, it just wasn't possible for these fakers to actually.
You need a lot of trial and error, right? I mean, to get this right. I mean, it's
I think that's.
If you look at certain fakes, or not even fakes and homages, because they're probably coming from same factories to a certain extent, right? Sometimes, and you see the quality of the dials. I mean, this is this is a €50 watch, and the dial is lovely. I looked with the loop on the applied indices and everything, and you think, well, that's actually very good quality from these kind of little parts. If you really look under very strong magnification on the hands, they're still good, but you can see, of course, there's differences, right? I looked at both my Daytona and this watch next to each other, and I thought, yeah, it's if you don't know, and if you don't have a comparison, and this is again, it's a very, very cheap one. If you go for the $1,000 super replica,
it's going to be closer. Yeah.
It's very hard.
But remember, our real Rolex has a misprint.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, it's absolutely tiny.
It can happen.
But there is a whole, and I went down the rabbit hole of error dials, is what they're called, and there's a ton of them, and a lot more obvious than what we have, where at the Swiss made, the coronet is missing one of its circles at the top.
Yeah.
Basically, when they're stamping these dials or printing these dials, I should say, they have a sponge or a ball that picks up the ink and just plops it down onto the dial. And the thing is, this is a very mechanical process that has a fairly high error rate, in which case they would just start all over, right? But they would have to catch the error
Depending
first.
what kind of dial it is, you can clean it and then redo it. But
Exactly. So all of these are metal dials, right? So you can kind of wash it off. But then if it's a celebration dial where it's painted, then you get a little bit
tricky.
Who knows? But anyway, point of story is that going down the rabbit hole, you will see Submariners that say, where it says Oyster Perpetual Date, and the E is missing. And or halfway printed.
Yeah.
And we saw Submariners with in the depth rating, the equal sign was missing. Right. Things like this. And these are much bigger problems than, but they're cool.
Yeah, see, I think that's one of the reasons why Rolex and other companies are slightly changing their watches every couple of years, just to make it a bit tougher for all of these fakers to not get too good at their game, right? And always have to catch up a bit. And then on the other case, I recently had this discussion again with somebody who said, there's no innovation in the watch world. And I said, what are you talking about? We have Spirit. We have the whole Metas thing. We have all of these chronology escapements now getting into Rolex watches, right? We have the silicium hairsprings, the Siloxys, and let's just Rolex, right? Yeah, but there's no new watches. I said, well, we just had the Skydweller 10 years ago. It's for Rolex time. That's recently.
Big. It is big.
And then you can't expect this every year, but I think people expect something like they do in technology, this kind of development in the mechanical world. And it's innovation in the mechanical timekeeping is in any case, it's a completely redundant technology, right? You don't need that anymore. We have quartz, it's better, right? It's done. You have solar quartz, even better.
It makes even better is going to be just your Apple Watch.
Yes,
that's going to be the best solution.
It basically has a quartz watch
stuff
inside, right? To just, if it can't sync, it syncs that just a couple of times a day. But the thing is, we have better timekeeping, cheaper, easy, no problem. But there's still a lot of innovation, these double resonances, and I don't know what else they come up with, right? And all of this stuff, these super light watches, which brings me to our topic.
We'll talk
because
to it before. I haven't done my wristwatch
sorry.
yet.
Oh my God. Yeah, sorry.
You're so far ahead of the game, and you don't
I am so selfish.
Remember.
I am so sorry.
Yes, you are very
so
selfish.
What are you wearing?
My Tudor Blackwood 54.
Ooh.
Yes.
And this time it looks like it's staying, yeah?
Yeah,
it's not 100%. Just having a vacation with you.
It's not going anywhere. I don't know if it's the rubber strap. Once again, I keep saying this. I don't know if it's the rubber strap because I really like it. I've never had a rubber strap with a clasp. This is, the Everest band style. And I like it. But I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking to myself, should I put it on NATO? I'm itching to put it back on a NATO, which I had it on vacation on the Bond gray and black NATO. Looked really good. So I don't know if I want to keep it on the rubber or switch it back to the NATO, but I'm still very much wearing the watch, liking the watch. I think it's a fantastic all-around watch.
Yeah.
And for 9,000 dirhams, I think.
Yeah. I mean,
damn, that was a good deal.
Made a good deal.
Yeah, I had a dream last night though, because the thing was, it was a two-part dream. Both of them were watch-related, surprisingly. I don't remember ever having watch-related dreams, but I did last night for some reason. And one was that my daughter and I, which we tend to do frequently, go to the Rolex boutique. And I always ask, can we do the 15% discount on the Tudors? Because that is the make or break whether I would buy something or not. And for a long time, they were saying yes, 15%. And then, of course, now they're saying no. And then in this dream, we went to the Rolex boutique and I asked, okay, I was looking at the Black Bay 54. I didn't own it for some reason.
Yeah.
In the dream.
It's a dream.
And the guy said, no, we can't do the 15%. And I said, come on. I said, fine. Okay, for you, we'll do 15%. And then the whole purpose of the question of this dream was, would I have paid, because it's $13K with 15% discount. And I paid $9 for mine. So I was thinking to myself, like, I don't think I would pay 13, even if I was given the opportunity right now to walk into the boutique and buy it brand new. I would still choose the one that I have for $9K because it was such a ridiculously good deal. And that was one dream. And the second dream was, apparently we had Watches and Wonders, or whatever it's called now, right? 2024, five, I guess it would be 2025. Yeah. Because I guess nothing was really memorable this year. And I remember thinking, I looked at the watches. I don't remember any of the watches outright. I remember looking at Tudor and Rolex specifically. And I said, wow, this is truly a good year. And this is the stuff that we were missing last year. And I'm so glad they made some good stuff. And this is truly good stuff. And I have no idea what I looked at, but I was looking at the watches and thinking to myself, this is what everyone wanted. But I have no idea what those things were. And but I do remember the sense of, wow, so maybe that's a premonition of we're in for something good next year. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, we did get from Rolex. We did get a few more dates. We got the Platinum 1908. We got the what is it? The GRNR.
Have you tried on the 1908?
Nope.
Have you tried on?
Nope.
I tried it on.
I have not seen it in person.
I've seen it. They have it in a lane. It's available and ready to buy if you're interested. It was not the platinum. It was the gold with the black dial.
Yeah, this is and it's nice.
Okay. I was underwhelmed by the movement. It was obviously not finished to the level that I would expect for 100K.
Yeah.
Or 88K, I think it was.
It's about 90-ish. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the one thing. However, what did stick out to me was the thinness of the case. For a full, rotor, it was absolutely super thin on the wrist.
Yeah, I think they're really trying to do a good dress watch, especially it even has the display case back, so it's making it slimmer.
It's sapphire.
Yeah, that's good.
And the other thing was, it was a full-sized movement, which I know I complain about a lot when somebody has a display case back and it's not a full-size movement. It looks cheap, right? And this edge-to-edge almost movement, it was very, very well done. Cool. I just, wish the movement was a little bit more better finished, but at that point, who cares?
Yeah.
Solid gold watch for 88K. Not bad.
Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
Yep.
Yeah. And I'm with you there. I recently thought about this as well, because 90,000, would I buy that watch? But then I think, no, I probably would buy a Lange Söhne or even a Patek for that price, because you can get some of these, not from the boutique, but pre-owned, right? So it's just a lot of these watches. Tudor, I wouldn't buy any Tudor now. Even the monochrome, which I really like, I wouldn't buy it for retail price.
No,
because
that's one of my issues as well.
You can get it now so much cheaper pre-owned. Why would I waste 3,000-4,000 dirhams or $1,000 or euros on a watch that's 2 months old, 3 months old? You know what I mean?
Yep, I agree.
Tough,
I agree.
Tough, unless they give a good discount. But they don't at the moment, because it's new.
They need to. Yeah. No, they said they do have 15% discount on some watches.
Yeah.
But they're not the Black Bays and they're not the Pelagai, so therefore you're not really going to have a choice.
But I heard,
if you want a Royal or a whatever the hell they're called, the weird looking ones. What's the one with the round one with the diamonds?
Royal. No.
Royal?
Isn't it round one with it? Yeah, Royals.
Which one am I thinking of then? The one with the... Yeah, the 1926.
Yeah.
No, the Royal is the one with the integrated...
yes, correct.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the other one.
All right.
The other one was the 1926 or whatever it's called. Anyway, point of story. This can segue, before we go into what you want to talk about, this will segue into where the watch market is now and what we're seeing. I visited both Rolexes in a lane. I don't know what the deal is in Dubai. I don't know what the deal is in, Abu Dhabi, but I can speak for Elaine. And in Elaine, we had, for the first time in a very, very, very long time, available to purchase immediately a Rolex Explorer 2 Polar Dial. And that to me is signs of a shift, right?
Yes.
Of course, we did have, and it was not one stainless steel model that they had available. They had 5 sports stainless steel models all available. The problem is the smallest of them was this. The biggest of them was the big 45 millimeter deep sea. They had the black dial and the James Cameron. They had 2 James Camerons. Yeah. So 2 blue dial deep seas, 1 black dial, 1 Explorer 2, and then 1 of the 43 Sea Dwellers. So it's 5 stainless steel models.
Sports
then next to it,
steel. Amazing.
2, not 1, but 2 two-tone Daytonas also available for purchase. Yeah. 1 black dial, 1 gold dial. Of course, no stainless steel, but two-tone is already getting somewhere.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think Daytonas will always be in short supply. They will not make too many of the steel models. But two-tone, it was always readily. Two-tone is the last to rise, and I think it's the first to fall again.
But we also had the golds. So the golds were also available. Yeah. If some people like the full gold, but the two-tones, I think, is the price that you paid roughly, right? So they're $88K.
Yeah.
83K, 88K, something around there. So yes, you get a I should preface, it's a non-ceramic bezel, but yeah, you want a Daytona, you're paying less than you would for a stainless steel.
Yeah.
So that is, and it's available at the AD, and this could tide you over until you might find a better deal on a stainless steel ceramic one. So lots of interesting stuff happening.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think the market is still going down. I mean, it's summer. In any case, summer is not so bad. It's not so good. Yeah, but I have a feeling even in the winter to the, holiday season, all of the stuff, it will still not be getting much better. I think it will continue that way. It is at the trajectory at the moment for a while going forward. I wanted to speak to you about something which I think could be revolutionary in the future. Let me share my screen and show you. So, do you see my screen here?
Yes, I see it.
Okay, I don't know. Can I actually do you see my mouse here?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, it changes here into this little logo here for whatever reason. That's interesting. Anyhow, so this is Orage, a Swiss company that has created a new regulation system. So you see this watch here, which was, let's not talk about the watch itself. This is a watch that has the rotor on the front, the micro rotor, has the time here on the bezel. It shows some of the time on the bezel and basically shows the entire movement. The thing that's so important in it is this part here, a micro regulator. So basically they have done what the Spirit system from Omega has done. They can regulate the hairspring in 0.1 second intervals, right?
Okay.
To make it very, very precise. But here's the kicker. This little motor here is actually a small piezoelectric motor that actually can put plus or minus 0.1 seconds. Now, why is this special? The speciality of that is that you have a tool that comes with the watch that you connect to the watch, and this motor is inside, of course, the watch. And you can just press a small button, which is battery operated, plus and minus 0.1 second. So you can regulate your watch yourself via without opening the case. And that is just like mind-blowing, right?
Well, okay, first and foremost, I have to say, it's mind-blowing. Absolutely. Super cool.
Yeah, for nerds.
How necessary and how often are you regulating your watch? Hardly ever, if ever, right?
It is mind-blowing for like precision accuracy junkies.
Can you imagine coming up with this? Well, then again, once again, we have to speak about it in the whole grand scheme of things. Yeah. Watches are stupid. Period. Yes. End of story.
Yeah.
You don't need them. So when you do something that you don't need for something that you don't need, it's almost like it's okay. right? So in this case, I think it's kind of cool. I think it's absolutely really interesting. I've never regulated any of my watches ever.
Yeah.
With some of them being 8 years old now, and they still hold perfect time. But for that odd chance you need to regulate something and you don't have to or don't want to go to a watch dealer.
Yeah.
I see the little tool here for it.
Yeah, this is the tool that you get
put it into a machine.
Yeah, you clamp it basically.
I'll put some
between
pictures
and
of this. I'll put some pictures onto the Instagram for this.
Yeah. You just press the button and this little and
plus that's super cool.
Yeah.
But now, once again, this reminds me of in cycling when we got into electronic shifting. Right before, you would have to you'd have a barrel adjuster on your
you have a wire,
cable.
right, and you pull.
You pull it or you push it
Release
essentially
it.
to change your tension in the derailleur, right? So that would move the derailleur a tiny, tiny bit left, right, so that you would be able to have crisper shifts because, of course, these cables stretch. And there's a lot of things that happen. You know, your chain wears out and things. But now with electronic shifting,
I didn't even know that existed, to be honest.
Oh, yeah. No, my new bike is full wireless. There's no wires.
Amazing.
It's full wireless shifting. But then you still have to address the issue of chain wear and things like this, cassette wear, and you still have to micro adjust the shifting in the rear. Most of the time, it's, of course, in the rear. And what they did was this very similar thing to this. You have, it's all Bluetooth. So you open your phone and then you have a little plus minus and you're able to kind of
See,
trim
it's the same thing.
The derailleur.
And
it's the exact same.
You know, David Sharp, who is from Scottish Watches, he works for Orage now, right?
Okay.
So, and he worked before as, I think he's the head of European sales for Shimano.
Really?
Yes.
Because
so maybe he had this idea from his bicycle things and
it
just
very much could be
proposed to say like, hey, why don't we do it from the outside? Regulate
so
from the
I
outside.
did have Shimano before.
Maybe it's this idea. Who knows?
Shimano had this, but it wasn't wireless. So they had a very complicated little button system that you would have to press to get the trimming done. Then I switched to Shimano's biggest rival, which is SRAM. And that's the American group that essentially is the only rival to Shimano in kind of the grand scheme of things.
Wow.
And they're doing it on the phone. And that is super, super easy. But I think they got the patent on that. So Shimano wasn't able to do this. But Shimano started the electronic shifting and then SRAM kind of was second, but SRAM took it wireless. And Shimano still has cables because they have an internal battery that is in the seat tube. And then little cables that would go to the shifters and to the derailleurs. Now they've switched to wireless shifting, but then the battery still connects to the derailleurs. Meanwhile, on SRAM, we have on each derailleur a small little battery, a rechargeable battery that you clip on, and then it's nice, very nice.
Okay. But
you don't have to plug the bike in. That's the whole point with the Shimano system. You literally have to take the bike and you plug it in to the wall.
Yeah, that's silly.
With this, you just take off your two little batteries.
See, this is I think where this is such a cool idea. You know, Spirit was the same philosophy. You could in the boutique and not in the service center. You could take your watch from Omega with the Spirit system into the boutique, and they could then just twist the adjuster, but they have to open the watch for that, right? Open the watch, use their tool, tick, 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 plus minus half 0.1 seconds, plus or minus. Supposedly that's how it's supposed to work, but I never saw a Spirit watch in the wild. I think it was only one model so far.
Yeah, it was
Don't
the
even know
Speedmaster.
Where it is,
the Speedmaster with the rocket on it, right?
Yeah, something like that. And then
No, they have two. They have the Speedmaster with the rocket, and then they have the original yellow one, no?
Okay.
They had the racing one and then the rocket one. So there's two. There's two.
But this system basically does exactly the same thing. It adjusts this by one notch up or down just from the outside And it's just
But now,
and you can do it yourself.
now we got electronics in the watch and blah blah blah.
Yeah, but it's not. There's no battery in the watch, right? It's not an electronics. It's just a small piezoelectronic motor that does the plus and minus.
You said no electronics. It's just piezo.
Yes, okay. It is electronics, but it doesn't interfere with anything. I mean, it's just a setting. Yeah, it's like instead of a watchmaker doing this, it's you doing this with a button press. Yeah.
Yeah,
but you're right.
It's absolutely a cool idea. I think it's a very interesting idea.
It's magnificent in its way. Obviously, the watch itself is that they started with is very out there. You need to really like that design. But yeah,
I like it. I have no issues with that design. I think it's a cool design.
Yeah.
Once again, I'll put a picture of it on the Instagram. Yeah. It's neat. I like it. The fact that you could see the entire movement and
this was my point for people to say there is no innovation in the mechanical watchmaking. This is it. These kind of things are innovation. There's so much coming out. I think also with certain dial designs and stuff, you could say, well, it's a different color, it's a different surface treatment. Yes, but hey, what else can you innovate with? And I think this is coming out.
Well, I'll tell you what else we can innovate with.
Okay.
Omega. Actually, it's not really an innovation, but this brings me into the Omega thing, right?
Wait a second.
The idea of Omega doing something, but they've already done it, but everyone forgot about it, so then they did it again, and it's their titanium ultralight. So let me build this up. Let me build you a little nice picture.
Okay.
We have a classic Seamaster 300, let's say, right?
Mm-hmm.
It costs 25-ish thousand dirhams, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
retail.
7,000 euros, something like that, yeah.
So they make a titanium version of that. They call it the Bond. They cost 35,000 dirhams, right? You've got a little bit of a 10,000 dirham price bump to go from a very nice stainless steel case to a titanium case and titanium bracelet. So you would think that in their infinite wisdom, they would make a titanium Aquaterra, which they have before, by the way. In this case, the regular Aquaterra is a 25,000 dirham watch.
Mm-hmm.
And then you make a titanium Aquaterra. And naturally, you would think it would cost 35,000 dirhams. But no. It's 200,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
Why? Sure. We're going to put a new movement in it. It's going to be a titanium movement.
Yes.
We're going to put a hidden crown that pops out. Mm-hmm. We're going to do this and that, and we're going to give it to some athletes at the Olympics, and we're going to make it Swedish colors. And all said and done, it's a 200,000 dirham watch that looks like a 25,000 dirham watch. And that's at retail. Because these watches are trading much, much less. The Aquaterras are like a 15,000 dirham watch on the secondary market.
Yeah, but
they look the same.
This came out in 2019, right?
Yeah.
It's the same.
ultralight?
Yeah, it's the same case. It's basically the same thing, right? And
they changed the colors on the new one.
And I think there's the popping out crown and all of that stuff.
Popping crown. I mean, I have to say this is, and then when I first saw this, ignoring the stupid movement, nobody needs a freaking titanium movement. It's cool, but not for this price.
It's the weight. It's for it. It was developed in the beginning
Obviously it's for weight, yes.
with Rory McIlroy, because you cannot wear a heavy watch on your wrist because it will affect your swing at golf.
Yeah,
so
of course.
He had a super light watch, and that's why
they're trying
he
to
was
get into
involved.
this Richard Mille territory, right? They're trying to get into Richard Mille territory.
Yeah, but nobody cares. That's the thing. Nobody wants to wear an Omega.
Let's take this watch and break it down.
Yeah.
Look at it.
Okay.
Not the old one, not the new one. The new one's ugly as sin.
No, but the new one was
idiot.
made with the world record of the pole jumper, the Swedish pole jumper. What's his name?
Because how many of us follow pole vaulting, right? That's my hobby. I know for
Duplantis.
a fact.
Yeah, Armand
I would like to spend
Duplantis.
50,000 euros on a pole jumper's watch.
55 grams is this watch, right? And it's, of course, a coaxial master chronometer. Everything is titanium. Yes, it has the IKEA colors, meaning the Swedish national colors, blue and yellow. So it is, because he is Swedish, obviously this is a new world record, and he had this watch on. 55 grams altogether, including the strap, I think, right? It is, right? Isn't it? I think so. Anyhow,
Yeah, I think so.
So it is a great athlete's watch. It is super robust. You can actually do everything with it because of the new movement design. It's really absolutely fantastic. It's strong, it's shock resistance, all of this stuff. But as you said, $200,000, $51,000. Who is going to buy an Omega Aquaterra that looks like a titanium watch? Like, hey, like a whatever, Pelagos or even whatever titanium watch, which you can have from Baltic, from other places, much cheaper.
Yeah.
For that price, just because it's so light. If you really want a light watch, wear a F91W Casio, which is even lighter. It probably weighs 20 grams.
Yeah.
You have,
I don't know.
time.
I just don't understand this. Yeah. And I think, once again, this is something that is very cool, but then this is not the one you make for the public.
Nah.
If you look at the stats of the watch, 41 millimeters, okay, fine. But lug to lug is like 44 millimeters, 45 millimeters. It's very, very small lug to lug.
49.2 because of the.
I think that's counting the strap.
Because the strap is blaring out of it.
If you look at just the head, just to the lugs, the end of the lugs, it's 45. It's super, super short.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool watch. But why would they waste this amazing case with this awesome crown guard and all of this cool, tech for something that no one's going to buy?
See, in this, even the second hand is like a pole jump stick or something, I think. Right? See that?
Maybe. Anyway. Let's go back to the old one. I like the old one better.
Okay. Yeah, the old one is more formal. It's a cool design.
So nice.
I think there's
black
red
and
accents
gray
with this
and red
stealth fighter look.
No, it's super cool.
It is cool.
This is a cool watch.
Yeah. And this one
the
got
fact is, it came out
2019.
and nobody talked about it.
Yeah.
5 years it's been out and no one. And I looked them up, by the way.
Yeah.
They're selling for about $100K on Chrono 24, which I think is way too much.
Half retail, no?
Still way too much. Yeah.
But
no, thank you. It's manual wind.
Yeah.
Not automatic.
What is the?
I don't know.
It's just the standard movement. So also 60 hours power reserve, something like that, right? Not more than that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's based on the 8,900, so it should probably also be. Yeah.
Just remade in. There you go. 41 millimeter diameter. It's not saying the. The lug to lug on this. Anyway, it's super cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's 49, I think, the same, because it has the same strap, right? Just in different colors.
No, I found one without measuring the strap. So because I wanted just the case.
Yeah, because it also comes in a rubber strap or in this
cloth
strap, or in this cloth strap here as well. Yeah, this NATO thing. Sort of.
Yeah, the cloth is what people are measuring, because the cloth has this plastic piece that sticks out, and that's 49.
Well, it is a good-looking watch. It is, of course. I think this is like for me. I would think this is a watch I would consider as a cool tool watch.
Yeah.
Competing with my Pelagos 39.
But I think this beats the Pelagos 39.
I think
this
so
beats
too.
The Pelagos in general. But
because
why wouldn't they make it more accessible?
Yeah. Ditch the titanium movement, not needed.
Yep. Put a regular movement in it. Keep the case. Done.
Just have a titanium case. And then, of course, obviously you can't, you don't have to spend that much money on it. Titanium.
So nice.
It is a lovely watch. Anyhow, so this is where I think sometimes Omega just doesn't always,
They don't get it.
While Tudor is always just making one little mistake until they reach complete greatness.
Yeah.
Omega does like two or three different wrong turns at some forks, right? Should we do everything titanium? Yes or no? And then another turn, because this is, as you said, competing with the Richard Mille. But does Omega as a brand compete with Richard Mille? They don't.
No.
Right? It's a completely different ball game. It's just different things. Anyhow, it looks like Richard Mille had watches that sports people could wear while competing. So they wanted to do the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And okay, by the way, let's talk about sticking with Omega here. Did you hear about the unreleased Seamaster that
yes, I have.
Daniel Craig was wearing? You have it up? Okay. And I'm like jittering, because I'm like 150% going to buy one if they release a no-date regular production Seamaster. I think the next generation of Seamaster 300 needs to have a no date option. And this is exactly what I want right here. So very similar to the blue, what was it? The 60th anniversary James Bond Seamaster. That's what I want, but I want that to be the regular, production Seamaster. And this is what this looks like.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we know that Daniel Craig is a fan of these mesh bracelets, right? As you are
so
too.
I don't know if the new one would come. Could you imagine because everyone hates the Seamaster bracelet, right? Imagine, and everyone loves the mesh. Imagine if the new Seamaster, the OEM bracelet is the mesh.
I think they would be well advised if they would do a normal bracelet, because this is polarizing, right? The mesh, give the mesh as an option, but make a tapering, micro-adjustable, quick exchange bracelet for the Seamaster.
Yeah.
A one that actually tapers a bit, not too much. It doesn't have to taper that much. Even Vacheron Constantin has basically figured out that, hey, we could taper the overseas bracelet a bit more. And they have done that with the new version of the overseas, the 4520. So you could do the same. Omega, listen. It really is a good idea to have a slightly tapering bracelet. This bracelet is too chunky, too big. It is not wearing well on smaller wrists, right? You need to have a bit of taper. And you do this already with the Speedmaster, right? The new Speedmaster has this very nicely tapering bracelet, right? It goes to 16 or something. It's very slim. You know, the new Speedmaster one. With the long striped.
It goes to 15.
15. See, it goes so
hold on, Speedmaster,
small.
Speedmaster, right? Not Seamaster.
Yeah, Speedmaster. Yeah, sorry.
Speedy. Yeah, the new Speedy goes to 15 from 20, which is a massive taper.
It is. And in this, I had the Seamaster, so I know the bracelet. I had the normal steel bracelet on mine, and it's the actual clasp, because of all the tech inside and the double buttons on the sides, is actually even thicker than the bracelet, of course, right? So you have 20 millimeters lug width, and then the clasp is then 22 or something, right? It's just massive. Yep. It's just big. It was okay on my wrist. It
doesn't make
but
sense.
It's not the most comfortable.
But let's see if this comes out. Let's see if this happens. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if this was another Bond limited edition.
Yeah.
It could be, which would be extremely disappointing. But because the reason I don't like the Bond watches is because
Bond
I'm
anymore.
not James Bond. I don't need Bond's.
He is not Bond anymore.
It's true.
So, yeah.
Can you zoom in a little bit more? What do we see here? Yeah. It's a black. So the one thing that I hated about the James Bond 60th anniversary was the four went. They traded the triangle at the top for the number 60, right?
Yes.
Which is stupid.
Right.
Yes, okay, 60th anniversary, but it's stupid. I hated the gimmick on the back as well, with the stupid swirl and no, I want a regular plain no date Seamaster. Yeah. This is exactly what I would want. I would prefer it in blue. But I wouldn't be opposed to black.
I'm sure there will be different colors coming out. But what you know what?
Yeah.
You know what I did not like after having my watch.
Zoom more.
Let me see if I can do that, or if I just open this in a new tab. Where was I? Here we probably can zoom a bit more.
No, that's it.
There we go. That's a bit more.
So it's definitely so maybe this isn't the bracelet, and maybe he swapped his own bracelet. I wouldn't be surprised with that either.
That is possible, because he's very particular about that. But what I don't like about this watch, which we can't see if there's still the wave pattern on it. Could be, but we can't really see that. What I didn't like on mine was definitely the skeletonized hands. I figured out that
I like it.
I would like that they can still skeletonize them. I have no problems with the skeletonization in general. I just feel they need to make it a tiny bit thicker and the skeletonization a bit less. I have problems sometimes reading the time with it, even though it was a very contrasty look, because I was mixing up the hands, which I found weird, actually. But it happened to me a few times where I thought, I had to watch twice. But the same happens to me with my Daytona. It's actually a very badly legible watch. I figured out with the black dial.
So the other thing that thing that I think a lot of people don't like is the scalloped bezel. It's super slippery. You can't really grab a hold of it properly.
Yes.
And that's also a problem. But to me, the one way they can really destroy the classy nature that is the Seamaster 300 is by, and I hope they didn't do this, by increasing the lug width. At a 20 millimeter lug width, it remained that very dressy option, right?
Yeah.
By going up to a 22, it's not going to remain as dressy. The proportions, I always felt for a thicker strap, a thicker band, makes something more tooly and less dressy.
Yeah.
And that's one concern that I have that they might do in the future, which would kill it for me.
Yeah.
But
I think you're right. I think, I mean, in general, the Seamaster 300 is a very, very comfortable watch to wear. It's super nice. Could it be a tiny bit slimmer? Yeah, I wouldn't complain about that, but it's still
I never had
lovely
an
watch.
issue with thickness because it has that case back that kind of goes into your
yeah,
wrist
and the lugs that twist down.
Yeah.
So it's really lovely to wear. It's a very comfortable watch. I miss mine a bit, but well, it was time for it to go.
I also remember how we were talking about the Paris 2024 version with the quick release.
Yes, exactly.
I watched the video, hands-on video with it.
Yeah, and
it wasn't there.
What?
It wasn't there.
No. Maybe it's a prototype?
It wasn't. I think the picture was taken of a prototype or something, and the regular production that the guy had hands-on in the YouTube video.
Because it is on the website, on the Omega website, they have it actually, I think. Or maybe they removed it.
But that's the only place that we saw it was the Omega website, and I was waiting for people to get hands-on, and they did, and it wasn't there. And I was thinking to myself, that's kind of weird.
That is kind of weird. Here you go, Paris 2024.
Yeah. I don't think they changed the pictures here.
I think there is a here. There.
Yep.
There it is.
And it wasn't on
the button, the little button. And what I really like is that the button is in the bracelet, so that means you can probably take normal straps on this as well.
Yeah. But maybe the guy that I watched the YouTube video with had a prototype version that didn't have it or something. I don't know.
Could be.
Who knows? It could be a press piece. But this is something I've been trying to figure out is, are they going to put this bracelet on? Or
maybe, these press pieces usually go from one person to the next. Maybe somebody chose to just steal the bracelet, put a normal one on.
Maybe.
Yes, I would have done that.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up here you want to talk about?
Yeah, if you're talking about new watches, we just mention them quickly because then we don't have to do this in the next episode. These new Blancpains, what do you think?
Nobody cares.
Bathyscaphe blue in rose gold.
Pass.
Beautiful,
Hideous. Disgusting.
Beautiful.
Absolutely.
No. I mean, I've said this in a watch club I'm in, and people are just super excited about it.
The bracelet is disgusting.
Why? Super nice.
Because it looks like the stupidest bracelet ever. It's like 60 millimeters big. The bracelet thickness looks 24, 25 millimeters.
23.
The proportions are all shit.
It's
an absolutely hideous watch.
The proportions are amazing. Look at that.
No,
it's beautiful.
Absolutely not.
Good. Good that we have a different opinion. But the collectors that I have spoken to, they just said like, this is absolutely amazing. Anyhow,
you know what they say?
What's new for you?
What was it? Birds of a feather flock together.
Yep. Here we have a new King Seiko that should be interesting for you. A new sizes.
Oh yeah.
The King Seiko in
like it.
36 millimeters. Right.
I like it very much.
Yeah.
I like it very much. I've always wanted one of these. My only issue is that I have the Grand Seiko 3-hander, and I'm like, can I have both? It doesn't make sense.
I also like the King Seiko when it came out 2 years ago. 37 millimeter case, right? I thought it's a bit too small for me. I wanted like 38, 39. But I still like it.
For me, I like the small size, but I wanted a better movement. That's at the end of the day. It's too crappy of a movement.
I think they have changed that. It's still the relatively normal $1,000-ish movement, right? Watches with the $1,000.
Yeah, but it's a $2,000 watch.
I know, and it's a King Seiko. King Seiko was on the same level as Grand Seiko when they had their competition.
They were competing. Yeah.
So
I would like it to be a proper King Seiko, higher up with a better movement, on par with the Grand Seiko, and then I would consider selling my Grand Seiko 3-hander for this.
Yeah, I agree with that. So then another new one.
Yeah.
Silent.
And next?
Bremont has introduced a limited edition broadsword Reconnaissance bronze
Once again,
watch.
Bremont has no idea what they're doing.
This is with the old logo, right? So this is,
Yeah.
I don't know. With the sandwich dial, though, that is pretty cool. It's just like they're all over the place a bit. Yeah.
Why is it cool? It's literally, it's not
cool.
like anyone else has ever done a sandwich dial before, right?
No, of course, it's
Just because you do a sandwich dial doesn't mean you're cool.
No, but it looks nice. The sandwich dial looks nice. But anyhow, it's
with a date window. A sandwich dial with a date window. Like, can you? This watch literally is made for someone who has no idea about anything. Walks into a watch store and says, "Oh, I don't know what this is."
Cool.
So it's 50% off. Okay, I'll take it. Yeah. This is a watch made straight for the Rivoli outlet in Dubai Outlet Mall. Straight to the outlet mall.
Then we have a new vice presidential candidate, right? And
Hamilton.
he is wearing a lot of Hamiltons. He's a I think retired sergeant major from the whatever army and
once again,
teacher and all this stuff. So I guess
I've been discussing this choice because I was saying that this Malaika or whatever, not Malaika, I'm thinking of the Hodiki girl. Yeah. What is her name?
Kamala Harris.
What is the president? Kamala. I was like Malaika.
The vice
Kamala Harris could have made a tremendous mistake if she went too left.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Presidential.
For sure.
And I think she did a very, very good job. She chose someone that was fairly, I would say, center to right.
And comes from the Rust Belt.
And likes guns.
Speaks.
But also supports gun control laws.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the guy, this is a very good choice.
Former soldier, so.
Yeah, exactly. So you're not choosing someone who's a left wing extremist, essentially.
No, a man of the people, really.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of people, from what I've been seeing, a lot of the right, conservative right wing people that are younger now like this over Trump.
Yep. But
so let's
see what happens. We don't want to really talk about politics here, but it was just about the watches.
But I'm
just
saying
right?
it's kind of interesting. Yes, but anyway, it's I have to say, as an American, I've always been complaining about the fact that either we're all the way to the left or we're all the way to the right, and we have nothing in the middle.
Centrist,
This guy with this balance of two people could be a fairly central choice.
And I think it's generally it's good to be not in extremes, right?
Although I didn't like Biden's,
choice of watch,
aging nature. No, I was going to say I did like his choice of watches.
Yes,
I didn't like Biden himself. I think he was too old for the job, and he should have stepped down ages ago. But he had a Speedy, he had a Seamaster, he had a Datejust. I mean, the guy wore cool watches, and good on him for that.
You can say that was good watches. Anyhow, so this person was seen with a khaki Hamilton khaki automatic.
Murph. No, that's a Murph.
Murph, yeah, Murph. Didn't exactly know if it was a 38 or 42, but
38. It's a 38, I think. No.
Yeah, they didn't know. I mean, here in this article, they said they didn't really know. And he was also spotted seeing some other ones, and in this range. So it's like, it's good. It's everyday man's watch. It's good. Yeah. It's a good choice.
I like it.
That much for that. Then the Seamaster we have talked about, the Blancpain we have talked about, the King Seiko we have talked about. There is a couple of these guys coming out now. There's another guy who wore a specific watch.
The shooter. I like him. He's the guy that literally got off his couch and just like with no eye protection, no ear protection, and got a silver medal in shooting.
Ear plugs, but not these special
plugs. But
he was
so funny
getting the silver medal in Olympics
with a hand in his pocket in a t-shirt.
Yes. So
the guys. He's definitely been making the rounds. He's hilariously, I think this is such a vibe.
And
for
he
sure.
actually he was wearing a Nakar watch. Now, Nakar is actually a watch brand that was founded in 1929 for the Turkish market. If you go to their website, well, it's in Turkish. Turkey, sorry. Yeah, in Turkey. I said Turkey before. We shouldn't say that anymore. It's Turkey.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Yeah, naturally.
Bad. Sorry for that. That was, he's still stuck in old ways, but Turkey. So you can see relatively affordable, 80 euros and stuff like that. And this is similar. I think he wore this stealthier one. So yeah, it's a homegrown watch brand, and he wore that watch to the
Cool. I like
Olympics. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, so that's it. And its cost here, they're saying the last known price of this particular watch was
$41
liras, and it's like $41. Yeah, so there you go.
That's funny.
A super normal person. I don't think he's a hitman.
With a beer belly.
Tiny one. Yeah, but yeah. Anyhow, so what I else wanted to...
That's a true athlete right there.
Yeah.
It's a true athlete.
Yeah. Then a bit of a controversial one, and then it's the last thing for today. It's this Venezianico watch brand. So in the beginning, I thought, there's another shitter brand, which like these
Di Milano or whatever it's called, Milano D1 or
Milano.
whatever the hell.
Well, yeah, but they have some cool designs. But yeah, then we have, what is it?
They're cool. Their designs are literal knockoffs of everything else. They have an AP looking watch, a Panerai looking watch.
But Venezianico has at least these nice aventurine dials and very clean things, and they have some cool designs. But for some reason, I found them also like Filippo. What was it called? These other brands that are just a bit like these shitter watches. But they do, they do, I think, mechanical watches, and they are actually quite nice. They have some interesting designs, very Italian inspired. They are not
Where do you come up with this crap?
They're not
like,
actually
seriously.
they actually are pretty popular now, because a lot of people are talking about them on watch forums and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. There's a bit of these designs going on, and I'm always have my ear on the on the ground and see what's going on, what people are talking about.
Sure.
They are not really from Venice, which is a bit of a for Italians, they don't like when you're a bit not so truthful in that. But there's also, I think, a broader area of Venice. So they're not in Venice itself, not in the city. So anyhow, my point is, they're becoming more popular.
Why do they look so confused in their picture, in their press photo?
Well, he looks a bit skeptical.
Why are we here?
The other one looks like,
what's going on?
I know exactly why I'm here. But yeah. Anyhow, so they are, I think they're brothers.
Maybe.
And they started doing this, and I think they're getting... when you start with something and you're getting a bit better at it, and every release is getting better and better. So I think not bad. They have their own atelier, right? So
I think they're in 30 days they're going to be nowhere. So
they're around for a couple of years already. So let's see.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Much like the Turkish watchmaker, I think we're going to pass on this one.
Yeah, but I said they had some nice designs, like with a color that was similar to the Vanta Black, right? So very dark, super absorbing color. So that was pretty cool, but it's not the same, but it's close, right?
Oh! And last piece of news, because nobody cares about this anymore. We're going really into it, but nobody cares. Hodinkee. Today, we don't know what it is, sadly, but today is Thursday, August 8th.
Right.
And they're going to have their limited edition release of the Tag Heuer X Hodinkee. And I'm very kind of thinking here, like, am I going to buy a watch tonight? I don't know. But it could very well be a Formula One. And I think being that they're LVMH owned, being that LVMH has just taken over Formula One, being
owned.
over that...
partially
owned, but I'm saying that they're in bed with LVMH.
Yep, you can say that.
LVMH has now paid $150 million a year to sponsor Formula One.
Yep.
We know Tag Heuer will be the sponsor from the LVMH group, which, as we discussed, is very strange because they don't make enough money to give that kind of money to. So if we looked at, there was I don't know what I was watching, but if you looked at the proportion of income to expenditure on this advertising, Rolex, who makes, billions,
10 billion,
spent 50 million on Formula One advertising, which is nothing, right? It is literally like them getting a billboard.
Yeah.
Tag Heuer makes how much per year?
Let me check that in detail.
Really quickly. We look up, because this is the interesting thing. They spent $150 million a year for Tag Heuer to sponsor F1. And with their full yearly revenue being... that's the units.
Where
it's right here.
I'm not seeing anything. Tag Heuer.
Turnover 615 million. So essentially, they're spending about a quarter of their yearly revenue on Formula One sponsorship, and that does not make sense.
No, I mean, we have to remember as well that Rolex took over from Hublot, right? And Hublot was, and the funny thing is they're not the time keeper of Formula One, right? So a lot of people said like, oh, they're taking over as a timekeeper.
No, they're just a sponsor.
Because Formula One does that themselves, the timekeeping. It's just the official timepiece of F1, it's called. Right, that was Rolex.
So now here's the question.
Now it's
we know that you cannot have a quarter of your expenditures or a quarter of your revenue in expenditure for advertising.
That is very true.
It does not make sense. So this means either they are really, really planning on bumping up Tag Heuer to that Omega/Rolex price point and range.
Yeah, I think
who knows?
I think there's a couple of things at play. First of all, it's an investment in the future from LVMH. So they are footing the bill. They're not actually passing it directly onto Tag Heuer itself. The other thing is I feel they really want to push Tag Heuer. I mean, 400,000 watches in 2023 there's air, right? I think they can go higher, at least either higher priced or
number two
watches.
is Cartier. They sell 660,000. Number 3 is Omega with 570. They could easily reach that 570,000 watches per year.
Yeah, I think so too. With this marketing push and all of this stuff, with the new watch movement director that they have hired from Cartier, actually, the lady Carole Forestier-Carshapi, they have hired her. She's there for 2 years now, and there was already so many new movements coming out. So I think they are getting what they said a year ago. She's like she wants to have precision and accuracy and robustness. She wants to increase warranty already increased to 5 years. They want to increase service intervals to 10, same as Rolex, right? So they want to
here's the
really
issue.
Cool,
let's just look at LVMH
robust,
in general.
Cool. Yeah.
LVMH in general owns a few watch brands, right? We have Tag Heuer, we have Zenith, we have Hublot, we have Gerald Genta. And the question is, if you're going to double down on one of these, who is it going to be? And it really comes down to you have two choices. It's either going to be Zenith or it's going to be Tag Heuer.
Yeah, Hublot already has done it, and Hublot is the strongest in there. But it's in
Hublot's too. How do I say it? It's too niche. It's too revolutionary or polarizing.
Let's say it this way.
It's too polarizing. Your average Joe is not going to tune in to watch a Formula One race and then say, "I'm going to buy a Hublot because of this." No. But
it's
the
approachable.
Tag Heuer has the spread. It's approachable. They have the brand name already. They have the watch called the Tag Heuer. They're steeped in racing heritage.
Correct,
they have the Carrera, the Monaco, the blah, blah, blah.
And if
the Silverstone.
If you're honest to ourselves, one of the first luxury watches that you would consider when you treat yourself as a young aspiring person would be a Tag Heuer, because it just feels
Mine was.
Yeah. I never had a Tag Heuer, but I always liked one. Right, so I think
the funny thing
this is an aspiring luxury entry level.
No. I think it's beyond that, because I thought it was, when I bought it, I was like, it's aspiring. But now, from the mentality that I'm sitting at now, after decades singular of being in the watch world. I'm looking back at Tag Heuer again and saying, I could really go for a nice Carrera.
They're lovely watches.
The glass box. I love the glass box.
I love Isograph. I think that was also a very cool watch, actually.
Which one's the Isograph?
Isograph. That was the
old one? No, but I'm saying the glass box is current. I'm saying if you're looking at the current lineup, which one would you go for?
Yeah, I think the Isograph still exists.
The Altavia Isograph.
Altavia Isograph.
Yes.
Now it's not
exactly
anymore called Isograph. Sorry, it was launched like that.
Altavia was
I like
a
it.
cool looking watch. It looked very much to me like a Breitling almost.
Yes, yeah, it has had a bit of this. But I also like the
but I mean, look,
Aquaracer here. The Aquaracer
That's
300.
what my first watch was.
The one
my first watch was the Aquaracer 500.
is the green titanium discontinued? I think it is, right? Or do they still have it?
Green titanium? No. They have
This
a
is the steel
titanium
one.
with.
They had a green titanium. I remember that.
No, this is the new one that just came out.
Yeah.
If you look at the quartz or whatever,
No,
I don't
want
know
to
if it's
say
quartz.
here,
Anyway,
yeah.
we don't know enough about this.
Yeah.
But naturally, the question is, what is going to come out today? Is it going to be another Skipper?
Okay, this one.
Is it going to be another? That's the one that I love is the Solar.
Yeah, Solar
No,
Beat also, but
no, not this. The Solar.
I
the
like this
Solar
one. I like
is
this one, yeah.
super cool.
I also like that the website shows the real time, like all the websites. Yeah. Solar.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be cool. This is whatever it's going to be, and I've been itching for a Tag Heuer again. And if it's something good, I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
Very cool.
Anyway, all right, we'll see. We'll post, in a couple weeks, I guess, or next week. We'll let you know what came out, and we'll talk
and
about
how
it.
we like it or not. Or
if it's a flop or a hit or a miss,
yes,
we'll see.
Alrighty.
But anyway,
done for today.
We promised you a short episode. We failed to deliver.
Yeah, one hour. It's okay. You will survive.
1 hour and 5 minutes.
Alrighty.
38 seconds. 39, 30, 40, 41.
Ticking down.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Yes. We'll talk later. Bye-bye.
Cheers.